Pleased to welcome back Ignacio from Pellicer and Heredia, the Alicante lawyers.es. How's it going, Ignacio? Good to see you.
Good afternoon in this summertime. How are you, Kal?
Yeah, just about coping. It is rather warm in parts of Spain. You're a bit further south than us, where temperatures have been rising quite high, haven't they?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, but I don't know whether it's my feeling, is not as terrible as I was expecting. I don't know what you feel.
I
But
think
this summertime, even though it's very hot, I was expecting like last summer. I thought last summer was even worse.
I think we're doing all right in this particular second heat wave along our part of the coast. I said you're a bit further south from us, but certainly Madrid, further north and across on the other coast, things are pretty hot and plenty of issues with the heat for people there, and indeed a number of fires around as well. In the courtrooms in Spain, things have gone a little bit quiet now, haven't they? Just as we went into the summer break, we heard about the the main prosecutor in Spain, who will be appearing in court in front of a judge. A question over one of his cases. Is much chatter continuing about that as we go through August in the Spanish press and in the legal circles?
I really think that everybody's thinking about holidays now. As a good Spaniard, August is pretty much to finalize whatever you have standing and pretty much to enjoy as much as you can in the summertime. But talking about legal, the fact of being prosecuted doesn't mean that you're going to plead guilty, that you're going to be hold responsible of a sentence. It's quite serious, the fact that you're being prosecuted. But to be honest with you, until there is a sentence, I will be reluctant to think or to say something. It's all based on evidence, based on the trial.
And it's an unprecedented situation to have, that's the senior attorney in court in front of a judge on the wrong side, effectively.
Yeah, yeah. It is quite unique. Now, probably the question is whether he should resign or shouldn't resign from a politics point of view. But I will only like to comment on from a legal point of view. And from a legal point of view, obviously, there are enough grounds. But what he's going through, Kal, is what we all citizens go through. So I don't really see any difference of what any citizen goes on a daily basis in the courtroom. So he's suffering exactly the same that we all suffer as citizens. So I don't feel sorry for him. It's just part of the system. We need to go through with it. And it doesn't mean that he's liable or responsible yet. So we'll see. That's basically it.
It's all part of the process, isn't it? Pedro Sanchez, the Prime Minister, seems to avoid court appearances as much as he possibly can, generally. However, it looks like he's asking to appear in court now. He wants to prosecute over a banner which was put up in front of Parliament featuring his face and the word corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the legal battle, Kal. It will never stop. I mean, one star against the other, and the other against the other. The politics being legalized is being criminalized now, and one is after the other one. So I wouldn't be surprised to have more court cases after the summer. Just again, having a court case doesn't mean you're right, you're wrong. It's just you're legally entitled to go through the process, try to show and disclose all the evidence, and hopefully, eventually, if the judge considers so, will hold a sentence, hopefully in your favor or not. But criminal court, going to the first point, criminal court doesn't close in the summertime. Okay, that's the only court that doesn't close, but the rest of it are all closed.
So what does your work normally consist of throughout August once you've had your well-earned break? What do the lawyers at Pellicer and Heredia get up to? There must be other things for you to do whilst it's a slightly quieter time then.
Well, to be honest, I was telling Nuria, the secretary here today, that the first week of August is terrible because a lot of people go on holiday. So you have more work, less people. and everybody wants to go in a rush and run around because they know we're going to close the gates. And so, but for example, express conveyancing, we just went through a very fast deal recently that they really wanted to buy all client of ours recently. Then you've got some type of divorce appointments as well. We all getting talking about possibilities of lodging a divorce. Then you'll end up having questions about relocating into Spain. How about the number one thing that really hurts your pocket, Carl, is about taxes. So they want to know, in a possible scenario, if they become fiscal residents, Spain, how much would it cost them from a wealth point tax of view, from an income tax point of view, what are their obligations, and then what are the immigration laws for it. The Beckham Law is important because you save a lot of money, 24% during the 6 years, five plus the application. And that's on an ongoing situation, Carl, because people are planning to come over to Spain. So you always get these questions about immigration, taxation, probably registration of a company, setting up your own business, self-employed, and it goes all around in circles. I mean, probably is a low season. I agree, but we always have issues to deal with, and people's time, is probably there. Just here in Spain to organize power of attorney, organize a will, is difficult to say. And collaborations agreements with different agents around the world trying to organize digital nomad visa because they are trying to organize visas, which is the complex visa, I believe. I was having just one video conference just now with Kazakhstan agents saying that they want to send a lot of students and talking about the student visa, etc. So again, Cole, the court stops unless it's criminal, okay?
Yeah.
Which we get once in a while. One of our clients might get in trouble or whatever, which we always have people on duty here, Carl. So we're having Chema this time, and then Antonio is on time as well. And I'm over the telephone if necessary, you see.
Right.
But I wouldn't expect until the very end of August or beginning of September to be in motion back on track.
All right, still plenty of paperwork, it sounds like to me, Ignacio. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, maybe we'll delve a little bit further into the ways that people, or the things that people need to do in order to make that transition from, say, another country, a third country, or the EU into Spain, with the likes of a digital nomad visa. Maybe you can give us a bit more detail on how people actually go about that. Joining us from his desk in the office in Alicante, it's Ignacio from Pellicer and Heredia. Good to see you. Thanks very much for taking the time out, Ignacio, just explaining how very busy it is with paperwork in the summer. We're going to look at people moving into Spain, both those from EU countries and from a third country, as they're known, like the US, for instance, and Great Britain, and the different ways that people can come here to either work remotely or to move here and move a company. Digital nomad visas we spoke about just before the break. How does that actually work, and who is it specifically for?
Right, cool. I mean, this is one of the most difficult visas that you will apply from a foreign country. Okay, so the situation where you are is that you would like to work remotely for a company. So there is one scenario that you're already working for, let's say an American company, they allow you to work abroad, and or they allow you or they request you to go to Spain to work, which is not as usual, but it could be, right? Then the problem with the US, we don't have an agreement on Social Security. However, with the UK, we do, is the A1 and S1 form. Okay. So the first thing I would recommend the audience is to make sure and speak to their company to see whether they could get the A1 and S1, which I'm pretty sure they will. Okay, you will need to be working for that company before, okay, more than 3 months already. Already be up and trading that company more than 1 year, and they will ask you for you to move abroad and start working for them. Now, we have two issues here. We could register the company in Spain, and the company will pay Social Security in the home country. You will not pay Social Security, and you will only pay income tax return in Spain based on your income. Now, this is only good for people who earn more than 50,000 euros a year. Okay, this is good advice I'm giving because I did work out the simulation, and then after that, it's worth it for you to go into this special tax regime, which goes from 0 to 24%. Well, in this case, 24%, from 0 to 600,000 euros income. You will not pay taxes on anything else except income from wealth, which is this one. Okay, and the rest of it is tax-free in Spain. So you will pay in whatever country you come from. Let's say you're renting out your property, you are having, I don't know, wealth tax doesn't apply. Call. Let me just say that this community has raised the wealth tax now from 500,000 euros for residents to 1 million allowance, which is good. It's not good enough, but it's good. It's quite generous. Just per person, right? And on property and wealth tax, it still stays 300,000 euros allowance. But going back to the original question, Carl, this kind of visa, it hits three departments. It hits immigration, it hits social security, and it hits tax office. That's why I'm saying this is the most complex visa. So you're getting a NOMA visa, you get in social security, and you have help paid by the, let's say in this case, UK. And because the other option you have, if you have the A1 and S1, you can recognize yourself and connect it in Spain. If you don't, then for those who are trying to apply for self-employed, they will be able to get their normal visa, but they will not be able to apply for the Beckham Law, which is 24%, which I really think is worth it. Now, this applies for Spaniards and non-Spaniards, so foreigners, who've been out of Spain more than 5 years legally. That means they've been no tax resident. So everybody who's trying to relocate to Spain, I think the first tip of advice I will give them is to do this due diligence through their lawyers, through ourselves or through whoever they wish, to make sure they comply with this information to be able to qualify with the flat fee of 24%, only if they get paid more than 50,000 euros. That doesn't say the law. That I'm just saying that because I did work out when it's cheaper and when it's not. Okay, so you're not obliged. Who could benefit from that? It will be the children and husband and wife. Okay, so it's quite generous. That normal visa you could get with all the family in, which is great. Okay. Now, normally it takes, I will give you an average from the submission, don't expect less than 3 months. Okay, and you could bring all the existing paperwork and we could lodge it all through. Okay, doesn't necessarily need to be lodged from the Spanish consulate. You could arrive, we could have it ready. Once you arrive as a tourist, we could submit it from here. Okay, it's not like the non-lucrative visa that you'll have to do it from there. Okay, this goes in special. This is the same department called of Golden Visa. So digital NOMA visa is in Madrid, Golden Visa is in Madrid. It's a special department. When you do talk about non-lucrative visas, immigration, then if you're applying to stay in Alicante, then it will be the Alicante Province Department of Immigration. It will be Malaga. It will be Almeria. It will be Murcia, right?
Depending on your location.
Correct. But the bottom line, digital NOMA visa is very good, but it doesn't work for everyone. Okay? So this is my advice. Whenever they try to relocate, don't hesitate to do three things. Obviously, if you have the chance to organize a video conference like with somebody like ourselves or with whoever they trust, talk about tax planning, talk about what they need to comply with the immigration, and talk about social security and visas. Okay, so everything in one go. Normally, Carl, when we do all these video conference, and that's why I'm saying we're busy, because Americans, you normally have the appointment after 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Spain. They would like this kind of advice, or British citizens that they're already paying taxes, they have a scenario, and they want to have a simulation to know how would it look like if they decide to become tax residents. I really think, Cole, this is a great service, and it gives you a lot of peace of mind. You don't need to have Bob in the bar and somebody telling you that it's better this way or better the other one. It is impossible to tell you what is better unless we have the facts, unless we have the numbers, unless a specialist does a specific calculation, and then you can have your own conclusion.
And as we said before, not everybody is the same. There are all kinds of different differences, especially if you're including a company from abroad and coming here to work. There are other factors that might affect what's happening and how that affects you as an individual.
For example, I had a case today that he was earning dividends. It's not the same if you're earning income from pensions rather than dividends. Dividends, sliding scale, will be cheaper. So if you're getting dividends, it might be very, very good for you in this case.
I didn't know Elon Musk was thinking about moving to Spain.
Civil service pension is tax-free in Spain, right? It's taxed in the other country. Private pension, and then you have the situation that they're concerned about wealth tax, okay? Because especially the Americans, the cultural thing, they already have everything invested. They have social security pensions, but later on they have the Roth IRA, the IRA, and different type of products, okay? And they really need to understand how much is it taxed as an income tax return, and how much would it qualify on a wealth tax. Now, the good part today, Cole, is that €1,000,000 per person, which is great. After that, Madrid is up to 3,700,000 as Andalusia, and I believe Mallorca as well is on the same for residents. Okay, so but it's really worth talking through, because at the end of the day, we're really doing what we want to do, most of us. If I decide to move over to Spain, I want to do it. If I don't want to, I don't have to, and I could stay less than 183 days, and I could have full control of my tax issues. How much does it work in the UK? How much does it work in Spain? How much? And at the end of the day, it looks like shopping around, but it's completely legal to shop around and decide where you want to stay, you see? So this exercise is very high value for clients. They're very happy, and we're busy with all these appointments on a daily basis. Call. It's about relocation, and I think it's worth it because there are big decisions, a lot of money involved, a lot of savings from the specific study, and it's peace of mind, isn't it? Peace of mind for them.
It certainly is. And, talking to somebody who knows the ins and outs of the different options is really ultimately going to save you money and save you aggravation and hassle and heartache. When you make that move, it's difficult enough moving as it is, with, without having to worry about a lot of other things on top of getting the family here, moving all of your worldly goods to another country as well. To have all of this sorted out in one go is pretty straightforward, and there's a great guide on the Pellicer and Heredia website as well. You can find it quite easily, alicantilawyers.es, where all the different steps are laid out for you. There's helpful videos, details on everything that you need, and of course the contact information as well, the phone number and the email to get in touch with Ignacio and the colleagues at Pellicer and Heredia, all about that first off, the visa that we've been talking about, the digital nomad visa, but lots of other information about the other types of visas as well, and the other things you need to come and work in Spain. And we'll take a look at the Beckham Law. You may well have heard about that, of course, because it relates to David Beckham, the footballer, and his time at Real Madrid. We'll talk about some details on that. One of the most advantageous tax regimes for foreign professionals who are relocating to Spain. Talking to Ignacio from AlicanteLawyers.es this afternoon about various ways that you can come and work in Spain. And we were talking just now about the digital nomad visa. And of course, the Beckham Law comes into play as well. So what is the difference between the two then, Ignacio? Why would somebody prefer to use the Beckham Law, say, rather than the digital nomad? Or is it a merging of the two?
It is a merging of the two, you're correct, because the digital nomad visa is, when you first apply for it, is a visa, okay? For those who are non-European, Call. For those who are Europeans, they don't need that visa, but they can still qualify as long as they haven't been 5 years tax resident in Spain to apply for the Beckham Law. So the Beckham Law, well, it is an updated Beckham Law. It's not the old-fashioned Beckham Law, obviously, because it did change. Okay, but basically, what it is a special tax regime for teleworkers working remotely in Spain for either a Spanish company that they hire him or her, or for a relocating company from abroad that they are trying to set a subsidiary company in Spain and employ their people. What's the benefit of it? They are only paying 24% up to 600,000 euros income, and they will only pay taxes on income. They will not pay any other tax on whatever any other topics, dividends, income from investments, will not pay wealth tax, etc., etc. So it is only subject, is at 24%, is like a non-resident tax for non-European, and obviously is a possibility for Spaniards who being abroad or for foreigners who were never tax residents in Spain. So the Beckham Law is basically tax. The digital nomad visa is just the visa. And merging the two makes the beauty of it, of a lot of people coming over to Spain with a very nice tax regime, which really benefits. So anybody who's thinking about relocating, that obviously earn more than 50,000 euros, they should look into this special tax regime. And we're doing a lot of them. We've been doing a lot of them, but now we are doing a lot of them.
Is this the sort of thing then that Jude Bellingham, who's now playing for Real Madrid, would use? Is it something that the footballers would use?
Yeah, it is. It is correct. Actually, they are creating one new type of law about Bellingham. Yeah, which it hasn't been approved as far as I know yet, but something similar, which it will come into place, that it will appear, so you could digest coming over to Spain, no being such a terrible situation, bringing talent to Spain, and them having the benefit probably that you and me, Carl, we don't benefit, do we?
We don't benefit from their sort of wages either, Ignacio.
Oh, you're true. Yeah, but it's nice to have that as a gift, isn't it?
Absolutely. So on your website, there's a Beckham Law tax calculator. Then, if you fill in all the boxes, does it automatically give you an idea of whether it's the right thing for you?
Well, I really think we need discussion. I mean, it's not very straightforward because, I mean, obviously there is certain tips. If the company is being registered, if the American, the British, the whatever international company is registered in Spain, subsidiary, and they offer you a job, and then you relocate to Spain, then obviously yes, it's automatic. But that is not as simple. A lot of people are trying to relocate, and it's happening, Carl, another way around. Is the self-employed or the employee is saying, sorry, I would like to relocate to Spain. I'm working remotely, and instead of being here on the grey, on the raining, or in this area, I'd rather go somewhere else. And after COVID, Carl, this did really happen to Spain. Probably did happen to a lot of countries, but Spain is booming, and you have a lot of people, thanks to this, but not necessarily about having this special tax regime, which it might affect you or not. People's quality of life. People are trying to be here, rent an apartment, get your computer, work from home, and enjoy life. That's basically what is happening. That's why Javier is booming. The South and Turbia is booming. Here is booming. Alicante today. Uh, people, you know, people have a different style about working. I mean, I could, when I go on holiday, I'm going to bring my laptop, and if any emergency, you just connect. So this makes the whole process very, very interesting, and it brings an attraction in the tourism, which is what is creating this kind of attraction to Spain.
What sort of time frame are we talking about to qualify for the Beckham Law and be able to move to Spain?
Well, the visa, the digital visa, I will inform clients that it could take an average of 3 months. If it gets too complex, it could be even a bit more because they keep requesting paperwork, etc., etc. But just budget 3 months. The tax regime, I would not expect more than 3 months neither. Okay, so we're talking about, and you could only do it after your residency. You will not be able to apply for the special tax regime until you are fully registered and resident. You've got 6 months to lodge the petition from the arrival. Okay.
Okay. And is that feasible? Because we do hear about the fact that paperwork can take some time in Spain. So a 6-month period, if somebody's thinking about moving, could they say, right, we want to move in next year, and we start applying now? Can you say that really 6 months you'll be able to do that and be able to be in Spain and working?
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, the kind of average time I will give clients is get things sorted 3 months before the
Right.
petition. Okay, because 3 months is minimum. You still need to go through criminal records, health insurance if necessary in certain case. Put paperwork together. Just give yourself enough room to fulfill the paperwork. Then let's give an average. I'm not saying you will be that, but an average of 3 months, which is the maximum time the administration has to get back to you. And from my experience, not going that far, but just budget that. And then just budget again another 3 months just to submit everything. You can have everything well organized,
Hmm.
and it's just your lawyers who deal with everything will be able to submit the whole case one after the other one. So first, preparation of the case and simulation. Two, lodging the NUMA visa. Three, lodging the tax regime. And after that, then you could carry on whether, I mean, I understand that you'll start renting, but you could probably think about buying, probably thinking about making wills if you decide to stay in Spain or setting up a company eventually. Who knows? But these three things, which means preparing yourself to relocation, then lodging the petition on the visa and lodging the petition on the tax is three in a go. This is one of the most complex that I live with visas, okay? The most complex one. Obviously, it has a good benefit in your pocket, okay? So it's worthwhile
I
doing it.
guess that there are a number of questions that people ask about this, such as, can I pay my taxes on my income abroad under the Beckham Law for a start?
Yeah, no. I mean, at the end of the day, we need to draw a line, and this is why we need an appointment when we start stopping paying taxes from abroad and what is the date. So for some of them who are European or Spaniards, you just forget about the visa application. You just
Mm.
concentrate on the other one. But you will have to draw a line. If you were tax rate, remember we have dual taxation treaties with a lot of countries.
Hmm.
So if you spend more than 183 in a different country, you'll have to carry on doing so. And then they will grant this permit and you will start on the first quarter of the year. So let's say you just submit the application in October, you'll stop being tax resident that calendar year. You will be a tax resident in a different country, and from the 1st of January, you should be a tax resident here.
We
So it
mentioned.
depends on the position.
Hmm. We mentioned footballers, Ignacio, but is it anybody, any profession that can apply for the Beckham Law?
Right. People working remotely, relocating into Spain because of the company requesting you to come over to Spain and having the A1 or S1, yes. So what is the problem? A lot of American companies that they don't have a subsidiary company in Spain. The client or employee is saying, I'm going to Spain. Well, you don't have coverage on Social Security. If you set a self-employed here, it doesn't qualify. You cannot be self-employed to apply for the special tax regime. It's a relocation through a company, or a company needs to employ you, and then, but you cannot be self-employed. That's basically one of the rules.
Hmm.
And professions working remotely. So the special tax regime goes for teleworkers, what we call it, is no all professions can be into it. For example, a psychologist, lawyer. No, no, it's just people who work remotely could only benefit. So the bottom line here, Carl, is bringing the possibility for an expat or a Spaniard who was abroad to come over to Spain, to live in Spain, to spend their money in Spain, to pay their taxes. And obviously, in that return, the state is giving a special tax regime for 5 plus another year. So it is an attraction. It's like the golden visa. It was an attraction for those who wanted to invest. Well, this is for those who want to work remotely in Spain, but you need to comply with that to benefit from it.
All right. No, a lot more about it now. Thanks very much indeed, Ignacio. And as I mentioned, plenty more on the website. AlicanteLawyers.es will lead you to the website there, available in English and Spanish, a number of other languages as well. So whether you come from a European country or a third country, as they're known, meaning the likes of the USA or Great Britain, who are no longer part of the EU, you can find out details there. Lots of questions answered, plenty on the blogs as well, with Ignacio and Pedro and the team, and of course all the contact details as well at AlicanteLawyers.es. You can find out plenty more there, or indeed give them a call. The number's on the website as well, and one of the team will get straight to you to talk about the possibilities of getting a digital nomad visa here in Spain, or following the Beckham Law, depending on what sort of profession you are working with. Ignacio, thanks very much indeed. Good to talk to you this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Carl. I hope you have a good summer. Not too hot in the studio, is it?
We'll just be getting on with paperwork, just like you. It's nice in the studio, 23 Celsius.
Oh, that's great. I'll be seeing you in September. I'll go for a break if you allow me, Carl.
You have a good summer on the islands, Ignacio. Bye-bye.
I'll go for the cold. Goodbye now. Thank you.